So I thought I'd do a little follow-up to my previous video of moss removal, just to show you what it looks like a couple of years later. I haven't done it again since that video was taken. You can see this side of the roof is pretty clean. The other side, the north side, yeah, we got a little bit growing back, but not a lot. Thanks to that strip of zinc right there on the peak. Helps to keep it down. There's very little growth here now. And this stuff is easily removed. In fact, you can see, if I get in close here, you can see it's already turning brown. It's dying. That's from that zinc strip up above doing its job still. And then when we get up to the top here, it's the odd little spot, sure, but easily taken care of now. So for all those doubters out there that said this is not a good way to clean your roof of moss, I'm showing you now it is. It's the best way. Let's take a look at the rest of the roof. Yeah, looks pretty good to me. Hey, Mr. Roofing Expert, all you guys that complained about my methods. See, this is the very worst spot right here. The north side never gets any sun. That's nothing compared to what it used to look like. I actually came up here for a different reason. I came up here to clean the chimney, so I just thought I'd do a quick show here of the condition of the roof after some time has passed. And I think next I'm going to do another video on how to clean your own chimney, and I can piss off a whole other lot of so-called professionals. So watch for that one too. This is several years have passed since I did that video, and I just want to show you what it looks like today. It's not too bad. It's got a bit more accumulation, of course, but thanks to the zinc strips along the top edge there, they help to keep the new growth down. So I'm just going to knock it down one more time here. And well, unfortunately I don't have all my tools here anymore. Since I did that video, I've moved to sunny Mexico where we don't have to deal with moss on the roof. But I'm just back here getting the house prepped for sale, and I thought I'd better clean this up one last time. And since I don't have all my tools here anymore, I've acquired a new special moss removal tool that I'll show you here. You might recognize this, those of you that live in the frozen white north. Yep, it's a window scraper and a brush. Seems like a perfect moss removal tool. If you looked in my first video, you noticed I was using a little plastic scraper that's easier on the shingles than a metal one would be. Well, this is basically the same thing. It allows you to get in there and just very gently work that moss out of there. You see how easy it comes up? It's not really attached that well anymore. I think that's, again, partly due to the zinc strip doing its job. And of course, it's got the handy brush too to get rid of the remnants. But really the best idea is start at the bottom and work your way up. Because if you start at the top, sure, you can be brushing it down as you go, but you get to the point where there's so much loose stuff laying around like this here that it's hard to tell where you've scraped and where you haven't. So I like to just start at the bottom and loosen it all up, and then just take a soft bristle broom from the top down and just knock it all down over the edge, and you can do your cleanup on the ground below. So I'll give you a little demo here. Pretty much the same thing as the original video, just using a different tool now. But don't dig in. Try not to damage the shingles. Don't point your scraper down like that because it will dig in. So you notice I'm going with a very shallow angle here. You can see that. Very shallow angle, and when I get to these butt edges, I just kind of work at those, lifting it away as gently as I can. The objective here is to save your shingles, not ruin them, so go easy. Easier is better. And once you're done, it should look something like that. Little tiny bit left there, like that. Really not going to be an issue. It's these chunks you want to get rid of. Right, these larger chunks, those are the ones that they'll start to actually grow underneath the edge of the shingle and lift it up. And that's where you're going to get your leaks. So get those big chunks off today, and you won't have a leaky roof tomorrow. And despite what these roofing quote professionals have been telling us in comments on my video, if you do this gently, you're not damaging your roof. You notice I'm going directly across the shingle. When I get somewhere like this, I may switch direction and go down because I don't want to catch that edge and tear it up. Gentle is the key. This is tedious work. It takes a long time. If you try to rush it, you're just going to do damage to your shingles. So take your time, take frequent breaks, stretch your legs. You're going to be here for a while. I mean, I do this all the time. I live in British Columbia, Canada. It's cool, it's moist, it's an ideal incubator for moss. Stuff grows so fast here. But this is a few years accumulation, which is pretty impressive for this area. To have this little moss on your roof after a few years. And I credit that to the zinc strip up at the top. And yeah, I'll occasionally get out here and throw a little bit of powder detergent on it. I used to use a cheap powder detergent. It's highly alkaline. Changes the pH so that the moss doesn't like it anymore. It's not as conducive to moss growth. And that's a good cheap alternative to the more expensive moss killers. Hey, here's another money-saving idea. I think I mentioned this before. You know, if your gutters are always clogging up with debris, instead of going out and buying one of those fancy patented gutter guard things, or whatever they're called, I just used plain old aluminum soffit material and take a razor knife, utility knife, box cutter, whatever you want to call it, and score it lengthwise. So you cut it into individual panels and they just fit nicely over top of the gutter, and a single stainless steel screw every now and then to hold them down. You got to make sure you get the slotted type of soffit material so the water can go through it. But these are an easy clean now. There's never any debris inside the gutter. It all just lays on top, and the water is able to get through into the gutter and drain away. And about once a year, I just come along and sweep all the debris off the top, and that's it. I'm actually kind of surprised. My tool of choice for this has always been some kind of a plastic scraper because it's easier on the shingles, but never thought of using one of these tools before. It actually works really well. It gives you a little bit more length so you're not stooping down so far. See, I can stand up and I can scrape. I'm standing right now, I'm not kneeling down. I can easily get in there and do that. But I wasn't looking to get it absolutely 100% clean today, just get the big chunks off. I think it's more or less under control. Looks a whole lot better than at the beginning of the video, yeah. And that was a pretty easy job. It is tedious. Expect to spend a bit of time on it. And expect to have some cramps in your legs tonight. But it's not that bad, and compared to the prices that these so-called professionals want to do this same job, yeah, I'll take the do-it-yourself approach any day. You know, there's almost nothing you can't do yourself if you're not afraid to try it, and go out and have a look on YouTube like you're doing right now. Get a little knowledge, and man, you can do just about any repairs and maintenance around your own home. You don't need to be paying these guys, you know, $500 to clean your roof and 300 bucks to clean your chimney out. Check out my chimney cleaning video. That's going to piss off a whole new set of so-called professionals. I'll have to disable comments on that one too, because these guys are real haters. They don't like having money taken away from them, but there's absolutely no reason to pay them to do something like this. This is totally a do-it-yourself maintenance item. One last thing I'll mention here. The more observant of you might have noticed there's these black spots on my roof. What are those, you say? Well, you know that spray sealant you can get? It comes in a spray can and it sprays out sort of a tar-like substance. They advertise it in the TV commercials for repairing gutters and whatnot. I found it's great. If you happen to find a little spot, actually there's another one right there that I'll show you. This is what I'm talking about. Right there, there's a little bit of delamination of the aggregate on top of the tile, or on top of the shingle. And you can see the fiberglass underneath there. You see that? So, does that mean I have to re-roof my house? Depends on who you ask. There's a lot of guys that are going to comment that, yeah, you need to re-roof that house, but no, I call bullshit on that. You take a little can of that stuff, give it a spray, do it just like this. These are spots that were like that. They're totally sealed now. I did these 2 years ago. You see any delamination happening there? Any leaks? Nope. I guarantee you there's no leaks in this roof. And it's going to last for a long time yet. While you're up here, there's an opportunity to do things like this too. See, in the valleys, you've got these flashings. They accumulate a lot of debris. And when that builds up, that's going to work its way underneath the edge of the shingles. Things under the edge of the shingles, including your scraper, are a bad thing. So don't try to get under the edges when you're cleaning out that moss. But do try to keep them clean like this. Let the water flow into the gutter like it should.